Coming up, we're coming to your region and hosting a fly-in. We've got the details. A Cessna Bonanza, the world's best craftsman, and a big change for a storied airport. AOPA Live this week begins in just a moment. New year, new locations. AOPA is going to where you fly in 2014. Hello everyone, I'm Tom Haynes. Thanks for joining us for the first AOPA Live this week of the new year. For many pilots, there's nothing better than spending a Saturday enjoying all things general aviation, and AOPA is embracing that with a series of free regional fly-ins this year.
Well, you know, the regional fly-in idea really came from our members. They want to see more of us, we want to see more of them. Instead of being one place, one time a year, that's great distances for a lot of people to travel, we want to make it more economic to get and see more of our members. So the regional fly-ins should be a lot of fun, should be a lot of learning, and we should be able to see a lot more of our members in 2014.
Each fly-in begins with, what else? A pancake breakfast. That's followed by a town hall and a chance to ask questions of Mark Baker and other AOPA experts. We're also planning education and safety seminars, aircraft displays, aviation exhibits, and much more.
Really, I hope they come away with a lot of excitement, bringing neighbors, friends, people that are around aviation, they want to be a bigger part of it, and experience aviation in a very positive way. Ideally, I'd like to make sure that they learn something, hopefully become a better pilot, become really more active in their community, would be the outcomes I'd look for in 2014.
And there is such a thing as a free lunch. Every AOPA member attending gets fed at noon, no charge. You can see the 6 locations for this year here on the map. We plan to get to some other parts of the country in 2015, and we'll also be at Sun and Fun and Air Venture at Oshkosh. Look for us in new locations this year as we make an even bigger commitment to those popular aviation shows. And something else is making a return appearance as well.
As we celebrate the 75th anniversary of why AOPA exists, 2014 being the 75-year anniversary of AOPA, coming back to the Frederick Fly-In, where this thing is all sponsored. The staff is here. There's a great fly-in here in Maryland, and we're looking forward to hosting people to come to see AOPA in October of 2014.
Yes, the AOPA Fly-In is returning on October 4th. As Mark said, a grand celebration of AOPA's 75th anniversary. You can read much more about the AOPA Fly-In at aopa.org/fly-in and watch your email box. We'll send out reminders to folks in the area as we get close to the time of each fly-in. Big news since our last broadcast. Cessna parent Textron Incorporated is going to buy Beechcraft for $1.4 billion. That's if nobody else offers more. And that would mean that Cessna would add the Bonanza and Baron to its piston lines. Perhaps the biggest prize is the King Air turboprop and Beechcraft's military business. And another Textron effort to expand its military business flew for the first time last month. The twin-tail, twin-engine Scorpion logged about an hour and a half on its maiden flight. Textron calls it an affordable tactical jet for National Guard and Homeland Security missions, but nobody has ordered one just yet. But Rare Aircraft in Minnesota has all the orders it can handle for its classic aircraft from a bygone era. They restore Waco aircraft with exquisite craftsmanship. AOPA's senior photographer Mike Pfizer visited the factory, where perfect is the minimum standard.
We go deep, we do all the details, we make everything new, and that's what has attracted people to our airplanes. We make them perfect, and that's our product. They come to us because they know our quality, so they already want that. These are purchases of choice, not necessity, and they're treasured possessions. Well, one of the first things that we do, invite them to come here and encourage them to come here so that they can see what the process is and they can see what we do and they see the depth of the quality. I can't think of a one customer we've had that didn't come here first.
I think aesthetics are important to any collectible machinery, but with the stuff that we do, we want it to be as useful as it was the day they left the factory, but also have the shine and the quality and the detail where somebody can walk up to it and say, wow, this is really an excellent example of this. And I think we've all walked up to airplanes, and you can just tell that if the quality is seen all throughout, that you're probably going to have a good pilot experience in the airplane as well. You can trust the airplane, you can trust the mechanism, because the high level of quality can be seen throughout, not just in individual portions of the aircraft. And the lines of the airplanes, you know, harken back to when they were created. They don't need a lot of trim to show that it has some design aesthetic. If we started putting really wild paint jobs on these airplanes, I think we'd be doing the airplane a disservice.
You can see much more of the craftsmanship from Rare Aircraft. Look for the video in your digital edition of your February AOPA Pilot, along with the first of a new series of craftsmanship articles. A look at the people who create or recreate machines we find truly beautiful. Well, coming up after the break, why we must win the battle in Santa Monica and big changes to the world's oldest airport. You're watching AOPA Live this week. Welcome back. You're watching AOPA Live this week. The Lightspeed Foundation is now taking nominations and applications for its 2014 Pilot's Choice Awards. You have until the end of the month to get them in. More information is available at lightspeedaviationfoundation.org. And the General Aviation Manufacturers Association and Build-A-Plane are launching the second nationwide Aviation Design Challenge. The program is designed to promote science, technology, engineering, and math education in high schools. Schools that want to compete can get the Fly to Learn curricula and design a virtual airplane. The winning team gets to build a Glass-Air Sportsman. For more information, look at the URL there on your screen. This year, there's a lawsuit in federal court that General Aviation must win. The city of Santa Monica is suing the FAA. The city wants to be released from its federal obligations to operate the airport.
It's an important issue. As we've said before, Santa Monica is the most embattled and threatened general aviation airport in the United States, and the members should understand that AOPA is going to do whatever we can to ensure the further existence of that airport into the future.
The federal judge in the case denied the Justice Department's request for more time to respond to the city's complaint. The response is due this Friday. To learn more about the history of Santa Monica and the issues it raises for all of general aviation, you can visit our website. Meanwhile, on the other side of the nation, battles are nothing new to the world's oldest airport. As AOPA Live's Paul Harrop finds out, change is the only constant.
College Park Airport has seen a lot over the years.
This is the world's oldest airport in continuous operation anywhere in the world, starting in 1909 when the Wright brothers taught people like Hap Arnold how to fly airplanes. And it's gone with a lot of significant historic events since then.
The first helicopter in the United States flew here. The first airmail experiments happened here.
And ILS and early radio experiments in the 1920s. So we've had a lot of history since then.
Flash forward to 1967 and Lee Schick becomes a part of the story at KCGS. Avgas sold for 25 cents a gallon, or you could rent a Piper Colt for $12 an hour wet.
And I was a young buck flight instructor at College Park Airport trying to make my first fortune at the rate of $5 an hour.
By 1973, he was named airport manager by the Maryland Park and Planning Commission.
Used to be a busy metropolitan airport with a lot of different people coming and going from all over the country, and it was nice because we could see the utilization from a pure transportation standpoint.
The airport was booming for most of his career, but one day, everything changed.
September 10th of '01, my biggest concerns were, where am I going to get the extra space for all the airplanes? I'm running out of ramp space. We had just tripled our fuel capacity at our fuel farm, and I wanted to make sure that was working okay. I was having trouble finding qualified people because I needed more people here for employees because we just had so many people coming and going at College Park. The Metro Rail made the nice connection for people to walk a block away and go downtown. 24 hours later, I was the manager of an airport that was closed by the federal government. No flight operations at all. Nobody could come and go. Nothing was happening. And just as concerning is no promise of any changes.
The rest of the GA fleet was slowly allowed back in the air over the next 10 days, but College Park was totally closed for over 5 months. Lee was forced to fight a never-ending bureaucratic battle trying to get some answers.
Hotlines, tip lines that the federal government established changed overnight. We never know who to talk to. We were getting referrals back and forth. So it's a very frustrating 5 months.
In the new security state, pilots weren't even allowed to start their engines and taxi around. Those based at College Park and the other 2 airports near Washington, D.C. organized letter-writing campaigns to anyone they thought might be able to help. Finally, a sympathetic article in the lifestyle section of the Washington Post got the Fed's attention.
I remember coming in on a Sunday morning and getting a phone call from then Secretary Jane Garvey of the FAA saying that she apologized for not getting back to us in the last 6 months, but that she would try to make things better for us in the future. Shortly after that, we were allowed to have the airport operate only for tenant-based pilots who had gone through a rather extensive background check. But at least we were flying.
Flight activity at College Park dropped 83%. It's never recovered. Today, a lot of things at the Strip are very different in the name of national security. Since it's within the flight restricted zone, pilots have to go through a vetting process and get a PIN number to fly in. The overcrowding is no longer an issue. The ramp sits about half empty.
Today, we still have a very dedicated cadre of tenant-based pilots, but for the most part, they're recreational and personal travelers, and because of the operating restrictions of the airspace, the problems getting in and out, they just don't fly like they used to.
And for an airport that has seen so much, one more thing is changing.
No reported traffic, 3008.
The old CFI who's been in command here for 40 years is retiring. Many pilots and friends are dropping by to wish him well and reminisce. Lee says it's that pilot community who made it all worthwhile.
I never planned to fight the federal government the way I did after 9/11. I never expected to be put in that position. But probably the thing that impressed me most is that pilots as a community, when things get down, always have a way to band together and to support each other for the common cause, our love of aviation, our love of flying. And it was impressive to see these people work so hard and take so much of their own time to try to preserve and guarantee our freedoms.
Work that was led by Lee Schick. In College Park, Maryland, Paul Harrop, AOPA Live.
Thanks, Paul. Well, Lee Schick's last day was in December. He jokes that his next job will be as a Walmart greeter. Well, that's it for this edition of AOPA Live this week. Remember, big screen or little screen, you can find us wherever you are on the web, YouTube, iTunes, or Roku. I'm off in search of someplace warm next week, but Warren Morningstar will be here. From all of us at AOPA, have a great weekend.